Fellow traders, 'tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Friday, October 31, Halloween. The year's 2025. Let's talk trading. Time for the weekly wrap-up. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. As always, I hope for the month of October you had risk management in place so you never lost more than you were willing to lose on a trade or during a trading session. So, actually, I guess I should have said monthly wrap up too. So let's take a look at the month here. So right now we are 317 pips below that monthly open, 400 off the high and 31 off the low. And if you look to the left, you can see here, everything looks like it's been pushing up. So we might expect to go up from this level. Notice we broke the previous month's low right there. We didn't break the previous month's high, so we got lower highs, lower lows. This is very interesting here on the weekly chart. I see a lot of unfilled gaps. Haven't seen that. I think we did see that last month too, or maybe it was earlier this month, but usually those gaps fill. Once again, if you look to the left here on the weekly, what is this? That's an open pivot. What is this? That's an open pivot. Those pivots may get filled, and I also see one open pivot above right here. But almost 190 pips below that weekly open, and we broke below that previous week's low. Notice the previous week was an inside bar. That was telling. We are well below the opening range for the week. And once again, the opening range daily bar was an inside bar. We broke the high, then we broke the low, and you can see what happened since then. So we're above the opening range for the month. We're below the opening range for the month. We're below the opening range for the week, but we're still above the opening range for the year. So for the year, right now, we're only 617 pips above that yearly open. We've given back a lot this month, you can see here. We're 661 off the high and 1,028 off the low. And once again, we had an inside bar 4 days ago. We had an inside bar 1 week ago. And the rest is pretty much history. A lot of inside bar action. You can see all the blue and the gray there on the dashboard. Only 68 pips a range for the pound right now. The new beast is actually in second. We've got the Euro New Zealand leading the way, 117 pips. Pounds only at 68. Look at this Euro dollar, only 56 pips a range. But look at the yen, back up to 154, and we have 76 pips a range. Taking a look at the buy zone, you see here from the open, we just pretty much shot up. There's profit to be taken there. We tested it again here. Crisscrossed that daily open. Just didn't seem to want to close above it here on M30. Shot down below, and now we're back up in that same area again. The green rats just feasted an hour or so ago. Nice little feast there. There wasn't a red rat feast because range wasn't large enough at this time. Bambino flex indicator was telling you to go short. Pivot trading plan told you to go short, and you can see here they both pretty much paid off. Looking at the missed pivots, you can see we had a missed pivot 2 days ago. So it looks like October is going to have a missed pivot. September had one. April had two. March had one. February had 2. So there's some pivots that may or may not get closed this year. That's a lot. As you can see here, from a couple of years ago, we've closed them all from 2024. And if we take a look at the weekly, you see we took out that pivot. There's that one weekly pivot I was talking about earlier, and there's the other 2. And for the month, we had one missed pivot 7 months ago in March, and we're above that. In and out of that lower wick zone, you can see here we started in it, we popped out on the top side, we popped out on the downside, now we're back into it, and we're 75% of the time over the last 60 days. And looking at the smart ranges, let's change the time frame to monthly so we can take a quick look at the month here. 431 in range, 25 percentile. We didn't cross above the previous high, but we did cross below the previous low by 227 pips. Huge, huge opportunity there. High minus the close 400, close minus low 30, 31, flopping there. So rats were paid off. Monthly open crossover traders, high minus open 83, open minus low 348. Once again, pips to be made. If we drop back down to the weekly time frame, you see this weekly range 273, 91 percentile over the last 12 weeks. And look, we're past the ATR also. High minus previous high, we did not break it. Previous low minus low, 191 pips. Not bad for those breakout traders. High minus close 243. Close minus low 30 for the rats. Weekly open crossover traders, 53 high minus open and 220 open minus low. So once again, these simple horizontal lines can be profitable. No squigglies were hurt. Now we got indicator 2, which is the EMA 5, which is a squiggly. You can see here we had an outside bar. We had a break across that high for profit. If we look at the simple price action here on a 1 minute chart and an inside bar break to the north, outside bar for a couple of pips here, outside bar break to the low for a couple of pips. Once again, these bars are established. You draw a horizontal line. You can take the trade with the candle color. It seems like it is simple, but the difficulty is overcoming your emotions, sticking to your plan. And we've talked about that this week, I do believe. Another simple plan, trading horizontal lines, the lowest high, highest low. You can see here, there was an opportunity to make maybe a pip there or 2, depending on where you got in. You can see we're getting another 1 ball put in. We're 12 minutes into this hour, so we just have a new lower high here. So that would be the trigger, 31, call it 31.27. Bounced off the psychological 25 right here. So we can sit and watch this and see what happens. Okay, that trade would have triggered. I do believe this is the 23 fib retrace level right there. Maybe we'll come back to this chart since we've got a few more charts to look at to wrap up the month. Okay, range 431 once again. But what's telling is if we look at the ATR percent here, we actually hit 90. So price has definitely moved. So we're the lowest was last month, but not as quite as good as August, but better than September, the ATR percentage. You know, I think I might have told you that I wanted to put buttons, but I looked at trying to code that was just going to be way more than what I feel like doing. It's slight bear at the time, but maybe I can ask an AI to write the code for me. Okay, notice we close minus the year-to-date open percentage. We're all the way back down to 4.93%. Remember in June, this was over 10% at one time, but you can see here, lost more than half. That's why you have to know when to take your profit, walk away. And sometimes our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs prevent us from doing what is profitable. And a lot of times what will happen is you'll make a decision and you'll take profit off the table. And then you'll see that profit has starts to drop, or rather, in this case, if you take profit off the table, but then again, you see that if you would have stayed in the trade, it would have made you more money. What'll happen is maybe on the next trade, you stick to the plan, and that happens again. You could have made more money. Well, sometime, somewhere around probably 3 to 5 times, if it happens, you go, you know what? I'm going to stay in this trade a little bit longer. And in that time, maybe it works to your advantage, but sooner or later you're going to get bit. And probably you're going to get bit hard. And what I mean by bit hard is that you're going to let a winner turn into a loser. And then you're going to be all upset and you're going to go into tilt. And whether that happens, in the same trading day or during, the course of a few trading sessions, and you really have to guard against it. You really, really do. Um, right now, I'm showing the year-to-date accumulated range. You can see here we have not expanded the range since July. So we're that's the yearly range right now. Um, Looking at the month, once again, we're below the lower previous month's low, below that lower wick zone. Prices turning down, seller strong control. For the week, pretty much the same thing. Below the lower wick zone, broke that previous week's low. Prices turning down, and you can look at all these weekly lows we broke. Seller strong control. Daily, we broke the previous day's low, but we're above it right now. But prices inside that lower wick zone, you can see prices just down. We got lower high, lower low. So, pretty much you can look here in these upper on the candle color multimeter. Everything's pretty much just pointing down, down, down. So, fellow traders, I hope you've had a profitable year so far, month so far, week so far, and even the day so far. I'm going to wish you all a fun and safe weekend and a happy Halloween. And when you come back next month to your trading platform, you must always remember, you must never forget. It's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.